welcome to the Yeah Come On Show with Southside Steve.
Yeah, come on. Let me tell you, man, it has been an interesting 24 hours if you're into sports. It's been an interesting 48 hours if you're into, SEAL teams going in and parachuting in and teleporting out, whatever the hell they did in Venezuela. And it's been a great, I would say, 120 hours if you're breaking down Christmas. That's kind of what we're going to cover in this show. There's a lot to talk about in Steve MZ. There's a lot to talk about in sports. And we've got a great track 13 that I think sums up everything that's going on and what you're feeling today on a Monday going back to work officially.
Yeah, this is the first sort of day back for after the holidays. Of course, we worked last week several days.
Well, we're technically out of work, so we have to work.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we'll get into that actually tomorrow. A new morning show started in our place today, and it's Tom Sullivan of Star 94 fame, where he worked for 30 years with Steve and Vicky. And he worked there when it was Quick See or just
He worked there before Steve and Vicky.
Yeah, he was there before them.
Yeah.
He got paired with them the same way I got paired with the regular guys at 96 Rock. I'd worked there before them. Sometimes the local guy is exactly what a show needs.
Yeah.
A man on the street, somebody that can help with promotions, heavy lifting, being out, being really the face of the radio station, which is what I became. And I think Tom did the same thing at Star.
Well, think about it. That's, to me, is the success of the regular guys was having you be part of the show. Because any other radio station that has tried a completely, non-local morning show with no one from there hasn't really worked. Even when you think about the Burt Show, they had Melissa Carter be in the beginning of the show, and she had been a staple at 99X. So she was already known. Therefore, you have success with the Burt Show. But some of these stations that just brought in whoever didn't work.
No, you're right. There is something about that local love. And maybe we should even title this show today, Local Love.
Yeah.
Because it matters. People want, even people moving here, I think most people assimilate anyway. I wish a lot of the foreigners did.
I know. As soon as you said that word, I knew it was going to turn into that.
Can't let it go. Trade a burqa for a ball cap. I'm just saying, things will go better. But when these morning shows come here from other places, they do the best they can, but they really can't help but hold on to what they had before.
And no, it doesn't matter how big either. Mm-hmm. Remember the Grease Man was on Z93 for a while. That did not work here because there was no local angle.
Howard Stern never tried it. Opie and Anthony looked at it because they looked at it on 96 Rock. They were the number one choice.
Yeah.
Opie and Anthony turned it down, went to New York. Larry and Eric were the number two choice coming out of L.A., but they'd only been there 2 years, so they did do some L.A. talk, but they were from the North, and it was just different. So when I think about that aspect of it, okay, I get how shows need to change. And like you said, without a local person, it doesn't work. But how about this? When you come somewhere, and this is where I was going to get to with assimilation. I think when people come in and they move into a city, they want to listen to a guy that's lived here. Yeah. They want to know about the state that this could be their forever state.
Yeah.
They may be moving to Georgia for business or because of the weather or because they just want something different for their kids. So to me, they want that local flavor because they want to get up to Georgia's speed as quickly as possible. So I think, and I could be wrong, every show needs guys like you and I.
Yeah, exactly. And
from Georgia, born and raised.
When we had our Fox FM morning show, the only morning show with only Atlanta natives as hosts. I think that's the only time that's happened. I love saying that over and over because that's why I was just like you. I wanted to stay in Atlanta. I'm homegrown. Why can't I be on the morning show? Finally, you made me a personality.
I did. It's my fault. Seriously, it's my fault. No, but Jeff deserved to be a personality. There's a lot of talented people. I could rattle off 5-6 names that I think could have been really good morning people. A couple just hit me. Matt Jones, who was on 99X. Tommy, Tommy McNulty was, or is it Norwood?
I
always get him. Oh, God, I shouldn't have even brought it. Tommy, I'll figure it out in a minute. But there's a lot of people. English Nick finally You know, he's not on a show, but he's a guy that most people know. But there's a lot of people floating around that just never got on a show or never needed it. Did Willard, Katie Kiley, Alan Ayo, would it have been better on a show, or were they just better in a studio? Some people that have the skill that you do, that do part-time or just do a show by themselves, paint a pretty good picture.
Well, just being a DJ and being really music focused, that's definitely Willard and Katie Kiley, and that's where I learned a lot of my, Doc of Rock knowledge, was listening to people like that. J.J. Jackson was another one of my mentors.
I'm glad you brought up J.J. Jackson because J.J. was a cool dude. How did he influence you?
Well, first of all, listening to him on Fox 97 and Quixie back in the 80s. He'd been in Atlanta for a long time. And then when I worked at Clear Channel, he actually trained me on some of the board and, kind of mentored me becoming a DJ on, the time was Mix 105.7.
Right. I remember that station being down the hall. And I didn't think about it. I just thought we were buying up stations. I don't even know who has that signal now.
It's still, I think, still an iHeart. Clear Channel became iHeart Media, and I think it's okay. I think it's it went It was WGST FM for a while, I think.
Wow, WGST. That was always the fight in town. WGST versus WSB for morning news, and WSB clearly won that. I mean, when you can get traffic and weather on the 5s and 6s. It's pretty good, and they stay to it. They stay on the news, and they're not as opinionated as TV. Radio is supposed to be much more opinionated than television, but I think when it comes to news, CNN and Fox are much more opinionated than even the AM bands.
Even WSB.
Yeah. It's like I really now know how a lot of people vote, and we're going to get into that next. Because it's a little time for TMZ, and I'm going to go after a guy that I don't like anymore. TMZ. His name is Robert De Niro. Do we not love the acting? I'm not a Taxi Driver kind of guy, just not my kind of film. I know what an excellent film it is, and I know that if I was cultured more or maybe went to different schools or was raised differently, I think I would see the brilliance of it. I'm not a guy that needs all the flash of like a movie like Tombstone or Lethal Weapon, but in a way, I do need that, and that's where my head is. But outside of that movie, which he's probably known best for.
And Goodfellas.
What would you say is his number one movie?
Ooh, I would say Goodfellas. My personal favorite would be Casino.
Okay.
Goodfellas, Godfather Part 2.
Yeah.
And Taxi Driver.
See, and I love him in different movies, like the one that he did where I think has the best shootout ever.
Oh, Heat.
Thank you.
Isn't there going to be a Heat sequel or remake or something?
There is. I saw that. Obviously, it's not the originals. You had Val Kilmer, you had Robert De Niro, on the bad guy team. A lot of it was star-studded, but it was, to me, the coolest I've ever seen Al Pacino.
Yeah.
I mean, the coolest. The way his suit, his hair, his character, that to me is his number one movie. And I'm sure there are people that would say you're not cultured enough. That's a horrible movie.
No, that's a great movie.
Okay.
No, that's regarded as fans and critics like Heat.
Okay. But De Niro, we now know that not only is he left, but he's hateful. And he really goes after, if anybody has Trump deranged syndrome, Robert De Niro's the poster child for it.
Yeah, remember before the election, he was out on the streets of New York just ranting on a megaphone.
Just losing his mind.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer is up there, and I did not realize that I've been in the studio with Amy twice. I was going back through some old photos. There's me and Amy hanging out like 15 years ago when she was just getting started. And man, she was so cool. I remember her personality. But then I guess when your dad's or your uncle's in politics, so she's a Schumer. She's kind of
wait. That's her uncle?
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Schumer's her uncle?
100%.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a little too close for comfort. Oh, wow.
Yep. And that's why she moved to France. I think she lives down the street from the Clooney's.
No, he's in Italy.
Oh, sorry. Because of his wife. Did he go to France first? I don't know. Either way, the reason I bring up Robert De Niro, we're going to talk about tipping quickly. These are the worst tippers in Hollywood. Robert De Niro is at the top of the list. Insiders have said He will go to lavish restaurants. He will order. He will insist that he pay the bill and 0 tip.
See, this doesn't add up to me because isn't he one of the owners of Nobu? I think he's one of the owners of Nobu, the original one in New York, which is like a fancy sushi whatever place. And it seems like if he's an owner of a restaurant, he would know you tip. Even if you're getting a free meal or you're giving away a free meal, you still take care of the servers.
You have
Seems like he would know that.
You have to. Or is he the type of guy that's like, I pay the bill, and you people need to tip?
Yeah. Like when you had Southside Steve's, when you were there and got some drink on the house, you took care of your servers, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I took care of them in a lot of ways. I'm like, I know you're going to steal a fifth tonight anyway, so just go ahead and take a fifth of whatever you want. Job well done. Madonna. Horrible tipper. They say that Madonna is notorious and has been for a long time, and she just doesn't tip. And then the worst tipper, they say, is Britney Spears. She just may not know any better.
I give her a pass, or not a pass, but I don't think she just may not be aware.
Nobody in the history of ever, she's the number one, has ever gotten a tip from her. Britney doesn't tip. They say that the staff is like, no, I don't want her. I don't want her. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're a little like, no. Sarah Jessica Parker. Guess what she's known for? Not tipping well, but also being super cheap on everything. So I've gone from tipping to cheap. So now you know who the worst tippers are: De Niro, Madonna, Britney Spears. The cheapest are Magic Johnson and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay.
The reason Sarah's cheap is because her and Matthew dress their kids in secondhand clothing to keep them down to earth.
Down to earth. I heard you. They thrift.
They thrift. And now here's the difference between thrift: cheap used clothing or vintage. Mm-hmm. And the stuff they're wearing is not vintage. It's cheap clothing. I'm talking Goodwill.
Well, sometimes you can find good things. Look at this shirt here.
Yeah.
You see this?
Mm-hmm.
This is a Goodwill find. This is a nice, Italian shirt.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'll give Sarah Jessica and Matthew Broderick a pass on the thrifting for their kids, because
I did not know
you know a lot of my sexy shirts that I wear?
Yeah.
They're Goodwill finds.
Look at you. I had no idea. You see the shirt I'm wearing now? It's a freebie. But I love the message. It comes from Exit Stage Left Advisors. Yeah. So what does it read? It says, "Don't follow the masses because sometimes you're the asses."
Because be careful when you follow the masses. Sometimes the M is silent. So if you follow the crowd, you're an ass.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better to go and you know what? Instead of following the path of others, go where there is no path and leave a trail.
Okay.
You just heard that deep. The last one, Magic Johnson. This comes more from Michael Jordan, who made a joke, but it is stuck. He said, billionaire type of dude, does not tip. He's cheap. He goes, he is way cheap. He doesn't want to spend any money. And you would think the guy would be throwing money, but he doesn't. And that's it. Now you know who not to serve. Even if they come through Atlanta, it might be cool to say you serve Britney Spears, but you ain't getting tipped.
CMC. Oh man, what a weekend for international affairs.
God.
So
I know I started sending you videos. I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. You knew something was going to go down with Venezuela enough just because we got ships out there, and the guy is a bad dude. At least, hear me out. And when Trump was in office the first time, I mean, he escaped. He was not elected. He was self-appointed. He's definitely had people killed. He's one of those bad guys, and he's a dictator. And basically, the people don't have the freedom. I mean, you can see right now erupting. People are in the street praying. It's like, I don't even think they had freedom of religion. This guy was a bad guy. Not only did they get him, but they got his wife too. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she's on charges, but this dude's getting tried for a lot of things. I think you're going to see life imprisonment or execution.
All right, well, let's get into it in public entertainment.
Polydictainment.
Yeah, so they surgically went in and removed Maduro and his wife over the weekend because of the narco-terrorism. Now, let's just start there. This is a new term. If you're familiar with it, narco-terrorism, think about it. That's a relatively new term.
Yeah, I've never called anybody a narco-terrorist.
They didn't even call Pablo Escobar or Manuel Noriega back in the day. Remember, Manuel Noriega was hiding all the money from the cartels. No one called him a narco-terrorist back then.
Okay.
So I don't know. So it started with us bombing these drug boats. Illegally, legally, that's up for the scholars.
Tell me
to
those
decide.
guys weren't flipping whatever, Venezuelan coins. Like, I don't know what, for us it's head and tails. I don't know what, maybe it's serpent and eyeballs. I don't know what's on their coin, but when they flipped it, can you imagine knowing you had to run a drug boat? I would not, you're like, you make phone calls, honey. It's from, I may never see you again. Kiss the kids. I'm on a drug boat tonight. We never did this
back in the 80s. Whether the cocaine was been coming in for years. I don't remember the military getting involved, bombing little drug boats.
Well, it would be
South
the
America.
Equivalent of, there's Tom Cruise, that movie and everything, where he's a pilot. And you look at the guys flying in.
Well, where we were part of it.
Yes, we were part of it. That's why. But can you imagine an F-14, 15, 18, whatever number we're up to, coming in behind and blowing up a twin-engine plane?
Blowing it like in the movie Blow, the Johnny Depp movie that explains the whole Pablo Escobar getting all of his cocaine into America. Again, we didn't go over and take the head of Colombia back then. I'm sure he, knew about Pablo Escobar. Anyway, I don't think this is, why is it our business? And clearly Trump even said, hey, we're there, we're taking over the government, and the U.S. oil companies are going to take over the oil there. I mean, this is the same thing we were sold for Saddam. We're going to go there and we're going to take the oil.
Yeah.
And we're going to liberate the people. And I don't think that turned out too well.
I don't know if it's an oil grab as much as it is. I mean, to me,
it's an oil grab. Come on. He even said it.
Well, I know, but I'm also like, we're spreading democracy across the world.
Okay, see, that's what we've been sold. Haven't we learned? That started with Vietnam. We're spreading democracy to Vietnam. And look, that was a disaster.
Yeah, it was.
All of them have been, there's no time it's worked.
Yeah,
and it looks like we're doing it again in Venezuela.
You can't win these wars anytime, and that's why anybody that thinks that they could take America by force, you can't, because people love their life and they're going to defend their homes the same way the Vietnamese defended their homes, the same way that look at the Ukraine right now defending against Russia. It doesn't matter how much power you have if they're going to fight you door to door. You can't do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's let them handle their house. Well, why are we intervening and taking their stuff?
Well,
let them, if he's such a dictator, let the people overthrow him, not us.
Okay, I agree with
I just don't think we should be meddling in all these businesses, all these other countries, and let the people do it.
They did.
We did it in 1776.
Yeah.
We fought against and got our own freedom.
But 1812, we about lost it again. They came for it again, burned the White House down, so don't get too upset that Trump's making changes over there. But when you look at history, and I get what you're saying, and I agree, all I can say is, for me, as long as it's given back to the people and they elect their own people and we get out of their politics.
That hasn't happened. That's the thing. That's the plan. That's what we're sold.
I think it needs a couple of weeks or a month. They've already said that they're going to do it. But right now, I think the reason the U.S. is there, they're protecting the oil and they're protecting the continent because there are bad people around that are ready to come in and grab it. And he was dealing with China. Do we want China to have the oil or America?
Well, it's Venezuela's oil. Can't they?
Well, they get to choose, but the bad guy was going with the bad guys. We want a good girl.
Securing our side of the hemisphere is what Marco Rubio said. So,
and I agree with that. So let's secure it. Here's the thing. I will poo-poo the U.S. and this administration if within 6 months it hasn't been completely turned back over to them and they're running their own government and they're deciding to sell us their oil.
No, that's not going to happen. They're going to be sending landman Tommy Norris down there. He's going to be doing those wills.
Okay.
Those wells. It's not going to be
wills and wells. We know how unsafe it is. You do die sometimes.
It's going to be our stuff.
Polydictainment.
Sports. America. Coming out of Polydictainment, there's no better song to play than this, and Jimi Hendrix, I think, did it first. That's the best part. I love this part.
Improv there.
I'm about to say he took some liberties with the national anthem. Sometimes that was his. Yeah. Come on, look at that. Kirk Cousins loves America. Yeah, come on. That was come on sports, man. And this dude just got off, man. And I'm looking at him, and I don't know who he is. Even the cheerleaders loved it. Look at that. Can you see? Did you see that? Oh my God. You got everybody looking up and digging it. I think it was a fresh breath of air, and I think the guy could probably play it,
I think he should do it before every Falcons game. Did he, because they've been on this winning streak. What's the deal? Why couldn't they do this during the season? We could be $6,000 richer had the Falcons gone to the Super Bowl and won.
Yeah.
With our bet that I made last fall.
Let's talk about your bet, because we're not going to rip up the ticket. We're going to frame the ticket here in the studio, and we will start to frame them all, because every year we will count on the Atlanta Falcons to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. I will buy a ticket next year. I'm sure I'll be going to, or this year, I'll be going to a casino at some point. And I will do another $100. Falcons all the way.
Falcons all the way.
Before the season starts.
Wow.
So the odds are pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, the payout's pretty good.
Well, the payout is really good, because it's going to be even more money. 100 was going to get us $6,000. This time 100 probably get us $10,000, because the Falcons are dismantled. Will they make the right choices? Right after the game, Raheem Morris was fired, head coach. A lot of people didn't think that was going to happen. Why? Raheem had won 4 games. He made the end of the season very interesting. There wasn't even a winner, because the Falcons were winning out. So Falcons win, Carolina goes into the playoffs, Saints win, then you've got Tampa Bay going in. And the Bucs were praying against us, and vice versa, and the Falcons won. Now Carolina's in, and we're out. 4 games. Defense looked good. Raheem Morris, when you look at his record for the Atlanta Falcons, 40% wins.
That's pretty low, right?
Yeah, and keep in mind, he just got 4 in a row. Like it could have been 36%. So yeah, that's a bad run. That's a really bad run. Who else got it? Terry Fontenot. Terry's out too. That's the general manager. Both got fired immediately. A lot of people in the sports world, definitely sports radio, they were puzzled. They're like, wow, I thought for sure you'd bring Raheem back. But I think through sports radio and through the bitching online and everybody, I think the Atlanta Falcons are tired of losing.
Yeah.
We got too many tools to win, and you showed it. And when we beat Buffalo this year at their best, and then Buffalo showed that they had some cracks in their armor, I'm like, how do you beat Buffalo and then lose to Carolina 30-0? That's when a coach has got to go. He's gone. General manager gone. Not just those guys. There's a couple other coaches that bit the dust. The Giants coach, Tennessee's coach, all fired after their games. Tennessee's admitted they're in a full-on rebuild. I can tell you right now, there's some people going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones not happy, doesn't like what's going on. This could be the most explosive offseason ever. I think quarterbacks are going to be gone. Players are going to be gone. The Steelers last night, if you watched it, that was the best football game I've seen in years. It reminded me of the Atlanta Falcons when they beat Minnesota to go in to get into the Super Bowl in '98. It was one of those games that came down to the last second, win it all. And I got to tell you, man, Baltimore fought back. Steelers fought back. Rodgers is on the sideline. Brand new kicker, Mr. Loop-de-Loop, comes in. They said they grabbed him because he had the mindset. They said, this is a guy that you can put in these exact situations when everything's on the line. You can't freeze him. You can't time out and mess him up. You can't get in his head. And he grinned and was joking right before the ball was hiked, and I'm like, well, this dude's a cool cucumber. It's about 30-something yards out.
Oh, no.
Missed it. Had he put it in, Baltimore was in the playoffs.
Wow.
Steelers, everybody's looking at Rodgers going, well, this may be the last game we ever see, the last football game for Rodgers. And he's over in the sideline, and you could tell he in Pittsburgh, everybody's just like, what the hell? And it's at Pittsburgh. When they missed that field goal, Pittsburgh went nuts.
Oh, that guy, that poor field goal. What's his name?
His name is Tyler Loop.
Oh, no.
And the coach walked him out with his arm around him.
He probably needed police protection, too.
Probably. And I don't even know if he's going to be allowed. I think the reason the coach walked him is because he's probably like, look, you don't have to go in the locker room. We hired you just now. I'm obviously firing the hell out of you. And you don't need any of the hate. So we're going to give you a Learjet home. That's our kiss goodbye. Take care. I mean, it'll shock me if he's still on the team. But that's sports. That's Falcons. And, hey, man, we're out. And our coach is gone and our general manager's gone. What's next?
Yeah, come on! Sports. All right, there's our first kind of, not the first of 2026, but our first Monday show.
Yeah, never done a Monday show like this before. 30 minutes straight, maybe 40. But it's everything I would say in a 4-hour radio show. And since we don't have a radio show, we have a show, and it's now the Yeah Come On show is all things radio. And we do have some interviews coming up, and occasionally we're just going to do extras. Do you want to do big interviews on the show, or do you think it should just be something extra? Icing on the cake for the day when we get...
Well, it depends on how big. Like
if it's an A or B.
If it's a Billy Bob Thornton like we had on our radio show.
Or Billy Gardell who's in town.
Or Billy Gardell, yes. Something like that, we could probably do a special episode. But otherwise, we could do quick interviews as part of the show, as we would do on the morning radio show.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, Chloe Malas will be on this week from New York. She's been jet-setting around. She was vacationing in London. And then, of course, we're going to have Peter Conlon. That's in the green room with Peter Conlon, and we will have him on the show. We're going to bring those people back from the radio show that we had, and I still want to get Joseph Scott Morgan on because I think we need to take a deep dive on the conspiracy theories of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, definitely. He would be great to talk about because there's all those conspiracy theories of which bullet, was it the Tyler guy's bullet, and but it doesn't add up with the way it bounced, and God.
There's a lot of stuff. Where was the blood? Why there was no blood? Why didn't paramedics help? I don't know. I mean, there's some deep dives if you want to take it. And they say this week, and we talked with Joseph Scott Morgan about it, who's on with Nancy Grace. There's an issue right now where they think they know the killer for John Bonet.
They say that every year.
I know, but they said it again.
But he's on that case. I mean, he knows everything about the John Bonet case.
Oh, he definitely knows. I want to thank some sponsors real quick that are putting this together for us at the moment. We're going to bring more sponsors on. Special thanks to Exit Wealth because we're in the Exit Wealth studios. That is the lovely logo you see over my co-host Jeff Cole's head. And you can go to exitwealth.com if you want some people to handle your money. I will tell you, there's one that just never drops below 16%. And overall, I'm over 20% on everything. They watch it by the hour, the day, the year, the month, whatever. So it's spot on. And that's with Justin Farmer and Ted Jenkin. Also, I want to thank Regal Nissan Service. On tomorrow, we will have Skipper. He's your service manager. This dude knows more about sports than anybody. He'll be our guest in studio for sports. And then David Markwell, Markwell Therapy. David Markwell counseled me prior to getting married. He does pre-marriage counseling. He does marriage counseling. And obviously there are some mentally ill people, and he has got a huge group. It's called Ridgeline Counseling. But go to Markwell Therapy, MARKWELL therapy.com, and tell him the Yeah Come On show sent you. If you're dealing with something, man, get it out. Talk to somebody in person or online. And when I say online, it's because of the damn, I know you hate it, but the pandemic.
Yeah.
They actually do a lot of Zoom stuff now.
I know.
Just because people live in remote areas or they just can't get in.
That's just how everything's done now. Zoom, Teams.
I know, but he loves the in-person thing, and so do his therapist. But if you got a Zoom, you can Zoom. And Exit Stage Left Advisors, if you got a business, a small business, and you've done it 20, 30, 40 years, you want to do something different, or your kids don't want to take over the business, maybe it's time to sell. Do you want a condo and a house in the mountains, or do you just want to sit on your ass? Either way, Exit Stage Left can help you. That's Exit Stage Left Advisors. Feel free to reach out to Jeff and I on our DMs or at yetcomeon.com or the Yet Come On Show. And now it's time for track 13.
Yeah, track 13, I'm kind of thinking, since it's the first real work day of 2026.
This felt like a work day.
Yeah, everybody's kind of getting back into the groove after having, because whenever Christmas falls in the middle of the week and then New Year's falls in the middle of the week, you basically have 2 weeks off. A lot of people do. So going back to the office and all that stuff is this Monday, the 5th. And I think Face the Day is a good track 13.
Face the Day. Hold on. Don't tell me. Face the Day. That's Great White.
That is Great White. Yes, it is Great White.
I hated the lead singer died.
Yeah, that was like last year.
Yeah.
I think we did some track 13s with Great White last year on the radio show when he passed away. But yeah.
We did, and he died of pretty much a broken heart, man. That band never got over losing a bandmate or all those people, of course, in that small bar dying that night when the pyrotechnics caught fire.
Yes, in Warwick, Rhode Island, I believe. Yeah,
most horrible thing in the world, man. And and they say, I've talked to other musicians that knew him. I never met him. He never came through Atlanta or came on rock radio, but they say he never got past it. He was almost debilitated, like he was on a cane. It's like it just tore him down in every way.
Yeah, so we'll, in honor of Jack Russell and it being the first workday kind of 2026, it is Great White, Face the Day, track 13 on the Southside Ride. On the Come On Show.
Sorry, technically we're the Southside Ride until the 10th of December, or no, January. That's when the money runs out.
Okay, so if you want to hear the song, just click the link in the description. Great White, track 13 on the Come On Show.